Real estate investing is a get-rich-slow kind of thing, and you have to be very strategic about every move you make. When you buy a house, you're a real estate investor whether you like it or not. You've got money invested into real estate, time invested into real estate. Most people are just bad real estate investors or don't even realize exactly how they're investing in a house. In this video, I'm going to talk about how a live and flip can help you get to the next stage in your real estate investing career or the next stage in your life, and planning with the next step in mind. In my previous video, I talked about how you can make up to $500,000 tax-free as a married couple if you stay there for 2 years. So I really believe that your plan should be to stay in this house for 2 years. When you are exiting the house, you're either going to be selling the house or you're likely going to be financing money out of the house if you're living there or even if you're renting it out. Some people are kind of serial live-in flippers, so they'll flip one every 2 years and move. There's ways to do that. You can use bridge loans. You can start looking for your next live-in flip, before the 2 years is coming up, and kind of have that lined up. Me personally, with my live-in flip, I stayed in my live-in flip and then I accessed it with a line of credit using a HELOC, home equity line of credit. This really depends on your appraisal. So where you're going to appraise is really important relative to, what will this sell for? They're two different things, and an appraiser is looking at comparable sales in the area that match the house. What a buyer might pay for the house could be totally different than what an appraiser says it's worth. So you need to understand what renovations you're doing and how that's affecting your appraisal versus how it's going to affect the out sale. When you're doing renovations, you want to make either the appraiser happy or you want to make a buyer happy. Usually buyers are going to want things that are neutral or not too offensive, something that are easy to change. One of the things you can kind of go a little more wild with is light fixtures or faucets or other things that are easy to change, but you probably shouldn't do a wild countertop or wild backsplash or wild cabinets, for example, because that's something that's harder for somebody to change. If your game plan is to hold the property and then rent it out to the next person while you go into your next live-in flip, you want to think about the durability of your renovations and how that's going to be impacted by a renter. Maybe how a renter is going to view the property. Usually like higher bedroom and bathroom count is going to get you a higher rent relative to more living space. So how you renovate can change based on your exit plan. I don't like to put carpets in my renovations because I think that the renters are going to destroy them. And also that leaves me open to accepting pets into my rentals because I don't have carpets that pets are going to pee on and absorb all that stuff into. And that's a big thing to think about. So you want to know what your next step is. One thing about a live and flip, when you turn it into a rental, you're going to exit the tax shelter after a certain point. I think you have to live there 2 of the past 5 years. And I also think if you start using it as a rental, you kind of take that out of being your primary. So check with your accountant on the exact rules around that. But once you take it into a rental, now you're no longer in that live and flip tax shelter. If becoming a big real estate investor is your ultimate goal and you want to acquire more rentals, more houses, etc., then the live and flip is a great launching point for that. You just have to understand how you're going to keep your money moving. And that's such a huge element to it. Again, accessing debt before the 2 years is another way to get to your money quickly because you could refinance within 6 months or get that HELOC within a few months even and have access to all that capital that you just gained. I've done that myself where I got a house, I renovated it, and then I pulled a line for $175,000 after just 6 months. So knowing how to keep your money moving is really, really important. I hope that gave you some things to think about on your live and flip and what your next stage is going to be. Hey, you may just be enjoying the house and you've got a lower house payment and it created your dream house and you're done. Hey, good enough. Our next lesson is going to be on how to get into action, how to actually make this happen for yourself. Let's go.